So I just wanted to start out asking what year you were born in, and I don't need the exact date, just wondering what year.
You need to, did you say you need to or you don't need to?
No, I
No,
don't need the date, just the year.
the year, 1990.
Okay. And then were you born in Taiwan or did you just grow up there?
Yes, I was born in Taiwan.
Where were you born?
Um, in Taichung.
And is that where you live now?
No, it's not where I live and neither my hometown, but it's a city near my hometown.
And you're at university currently, is that correct?
Yes.
What
Uh,
university do you go to?
National Taiwan University in Taipei.
Okay, very cool. What year are you?
I'm a graduate student in the third year.
Wow, I'm only a sophomore in my undergraduate, so I have a ways to go.
You have a plan for that?
I'm not totally sure, but I definitely want to do some graduate school at
Yeah, it's a way to explore
yeah,
yourself.
traveling. What are you
Mm.
studying?
History, East
History.
Asian history.
Oh, cool. I have a history class I need to take, but I haven't really taken any history classes yet.
Mhm.
And then so you were born in a city that wasn't your hometown. What town did you grow up in?
Which, pardon?
What town did you grow up in?
Oh, in Yunlin. Do you need to know the spelling of the place names?
No, it's okay. I'll just use the audio.
Mhm. Cool.
Um, and so in Yulin, you said, um,
Yunlin.
what's the earliest memory you have here?
Oh, what's the earliest memory do I have?
Childhood in Yulin.
It's a pretty small town. Well, technically, it's the second large town in my county, but in general, my hometown is a rural place. So um, everywhere is pretty quiet, tranquil, and not very highly populated. So my childhood memory is all about my neighborhood, some friends of my grandma, and I used to accompany her to visit her friends or to uh, have gatherings with her friends, something like that.
Did you have many friends your age living near you?
Yeah, but I didn't like, unlike my other friends that I knew when I was a little bit older, I didn't go to kindergarten. I spent most of my time like before 7 with my family, like my parents and my grandma and my sister. So that was it was a small or not a big family. So we had a pretty tight relationship within the household. So I didn't get to play with many friends when I was small. I usually play with my sister and my cousins.
Did you live with your cousins too?
No, but they were very nearby.
And then were you homeschooled or were you taught by your parents instead of going to kindergarten?
No, not like that. Like as I said, I was born in 1990, and at that time, some people don't send their kids to kindergarten because they have like they can their parents, namely the grandpa and grandma, can take care of the grandkids. So that's how I grew up, like before I went to elementary school.
And then
And
go, oh,
mhm,
sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure if you kind of get that. So
Yeah,
from
I think I
7 year
understand.
old, I went to elementary school, and from then on, I just went to normal school, just like everyone else.
Did you have to go to a different city to go to elementary school?
No, it was just like 2 minutes walk distance
Oh, nice.
from my home. Yeah, very close.
So you mentioned that you spent a lot of time with your grandparents.
Mhm.
If you can recall, do you remember any lessons they taught you or beliefs that they instilled in you when you were young?
Mm, yeah, like my grandpa passed away very long ago, so I didn't get to see him. And my grandma is very attached to home, so she did a lot of cooking and like pickling and stewing. So I had a chance to see how she did all these kind of traditional stuff. And she had that traditional religious belief, which is not very Buddhist. It's like a mix of Buddhism and Taoism.
Mm.
So I had a chance to visit a gathering place for her and other um, people who practice that kind of religion. So that was a very special experience for me when I look back now.
Do you remember what your favorite food that she made was?
Hmm. Food,
Yeah.
rice dumpling, I think, 粽子.
And you said that your grandma made stews, and did you say pickling too? Like pickling?
Mm, yeah, but I didn't like that. Pickling of
Yeah.
vegetables. Mm.
I don't think
Oh, and
I liked that as a kid at all.
yeah, and she was born in the colonial period. So like by the time Taiwan was colonized by Japanese, so she could still sing in Japanese or speak in Japanese for a little bit. So although I don't understand it at all, I still saw her like chat it with friends with a mix of Taiwanese and Japanese. That
So
was
she spoke
kind of
both.
impressive for me.
Yeah. So you grew up speaking Taiwanese, but you heard your grandma speaking both of the languages?
Yeah, but just a little bit because she didn't receive higher education more than like she just went to elementary school.
Oh, I see. Did you speak any other languages growing up?
Yeah, actually, I only speak Taiwanese with my grandma, and both my parents speak fluent Chinese Mandarin. So I think it's kind of weird, but also special, maybe also very common in Taiwan in my generation that people don't speak like in as a kid we speak Chinese with our parents, but our grandparents is a generation of Taiwanese or other dialects.
So your
Although
parents
the
taught you.
three generations are all Taiwanese.
Okay, very cool. What was your relationship with your parents like when you were growing up? You said you were
Mm,
close with your smaller family.
yeah, pretty good, I think, because we spend like they are always willing to spend time with us, me and my sister. So we in my childhood and teenage years, we try to travel or go hiking in Taiwan or like in my hometown or around the island.
What island did you live nearby?
Taiwan, like Taiwan is an island,
Oh, the island of Taiwan
and
itself. Okay, gotcha.
yep.
What did your parents do for a living, if you don't mind me asking?
My mom is a school teacher at a middle school, and my dad is a civil servant.
Cool. Did they have any important lessons that stuck with you since your childhood?
Important lesson. Tricky.
Because I know
I don't
parents are
know.
always nagging about something, and like my parents are always like, be honest and like don't steal. Like those
Um,
are their messages to me. But I know it's different with everyone's parents.
uh, yeah, honesty is quite important, especially from like for my dad. And well, my mom as a school teacher, she always teach us to respect the elders and teachers, something like that.
That's a good one too. My mom's
Mm.
also a teacher, and that is also very important.
Mm.
And did you say, I know you said you had a cousin, did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one sister, older sister.
Did you spend a lot of time with her?
Yeah, and um, yeah, I always share a room with her, so I had to spend a lot of time when she's at
Yeah.
home. Um, so before she leaves home to study in university, we always spend lots of time together, chatting, etc.
What was your favorite thing to do with your sister or cousins or friends when you were
Mm.
younger?
Mm, watch TV, listening to music, and perhaps play some video games with my cousins because that's another thing. My parents don't like us to play games.
Like
Mm,
video games?
yeah.
What was your typical day like? Would you come like when you came back from school, would you play games or like would you play outside? What did you usually do?
During what time do you mean?
Just like when you were, I don't know, like middle school age, elementary school age.
Uh, um, when I was at elementary school, I would play with my classmates after school and then come back home because it's super near, super close. So so yeah, we might play ball games, but what kind of ball? Like just general games and maybe had a snack or just look around and then come back home and do homework and watch TV.
What type of
And
games did you play?
uh, um, at a younger age, perhaps something like hide and seek, or and then dodgeball and
That's one of my
basketball.
favorites.
It's like violent. Uh, dodgeball, volleyball, and what else? Maybe cycling.
Sorry, what was that one?
Cycling. That was not a game, but we
Oh,
might just cycle around.
oh, fun.
Mhm.
Do you still keep in touch with your friends from this time in your life or from
Yes.
one?
Yeah. Like 3 or 4 friends were of mine were still pretty close.
Do they go to university as well?
Yeah, many of them. Well, I'm not sure, but the ones that am still in touch with all went to universities.
The same one as you or different ones?
Uh, Different ones, but there's one who went to the same college as I.
Oh, cool. What was like the place that reminds you of your childhood and you think the most fondly about? Like, did you have a happy place in your hometown or anywhere?
Hmm. I haven't thought about that.
Sorry, that one's a
So,
little bit tricky. I can't
uh,
really tell you what mine would be.
uh, so you have one. So you can think of one.
I think for me, mine would be like there was this really big tree in my yard that I would play like with my friends under, and we'd like build tree houses in, and that would probably be
Uh,
mine.
then yeah, maybe if I have to name one, there's uh in is that a field like track and field in my school? Me and my club, like there was a music club. We have to, it's like a band. It's actually a martial band for elementary school. That sounds so weird. Anyway, we have to play um national anthem and other kind of songs for some certain ceremonies during the gathering in our elementary school, and I was part of that band. So um, almost every day after lunch, me and my friends will practice our instruments there in the track and field site.
What instrument did you play?
Oh, I need to Google for that word. What is that?
If you want to find it, I'll give you a sec. I'm curious.
Uh, for a short while, I play accordion and then iron piano. Is that the right word?
What type of piano?
It says iron piano. Maybe it's the wrong word. No, shouldn't be this one. Let's see.
What type of music did it play? Just like it was a band, was it a wind instrument or similar to an accordion?
Uh, let's see. No, it's kind of a percussion
Oh,
instrument. So let's see what it says on Wikipedia. Glockenspiel.
a glockenspiel.
Bells. Yeah, Glockenspiel.
Oh, my brother
Mhm.
used to play that,
Ah,
so I've heard of it a little bit.
yeah. So that's the two things I used to play.
Oh. And did you enjoy playing music with your friends?
Yeah, but I didn't enjoy playing piano. My parents sent me to learn that. Like many kids in Taiwan used to have that uh lesson in their childhood, I believe, in
Sorry,
middle
where?
class. I mean, many middle class Taiwanese parents used to send their kids to learn piano,
Oh,
and I'm one of them, one of the kids.
did you have any other hobbies besides instruments?
Mm, yeah, I like reading and watching movie and listening to music.
Do you have a favorite book or movie from like when you were younger?
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute.
No worries.
When in my teenage year, I really like Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, I've never
The
read that.
but yeah, a cool book.
Definitely have heard of it a lot.
Yeah, dystopia, sci-fi, that kind of stuff.
That's one of my favorite genres. Do you remember any book series from when you were a kid or like any TV shows?
And what?
Any TV shows?
TV shows. And uh, many of them are Japanese cartoons, and like Pokemon,
Oh, cool.
and TV show, Taiwanese drama. Yeah, for a long time the we were not allowed to watch. We didn't have many TV shows. How do I say that?
There
You
weren't
don't
many.
speak Chinese, right? You speak only English and
Yeah,
other languages, no Chinese, right?
no
So okay.
Chinese.
That's
Do you
okay.
want to, if there's a word you're looking for, you could type it into the chat and I can Google translate it.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. For a long time we didn't have cable TV at home.
Oh,
So no cable TV means that there's only three or five channels, and most of them plays like news or just not not a lot of choice for kids.
yeah. How old were
Mm.
you when this was happening?
Like before 10, before 10 or 11, I think.
And then you eventually got more channels that you could watch.
Mm, yes. And that was because my parents want to uh like there's a TV channel that you can only have when you subscribe cable TV that would screen English TV show for people who wants to learn English, and they want my sister to watch that, and that's the reason why they subscribed.
Oh.
So that was pretty funny.
So you used TV or your sister used the TV show to help her learn English?
Yeah,
And
and like after 1 year or half a year, they want me to join
and is
my
that how you
sister to
first
watch it.
started learning English?
Yeah, but like at the beginning, I was very bad. Every time when I watch it, like the TV show is like 7 p.m. every day, like from Monday to Friday, and that's after dinner, so I always get so drowsy and I couldn't focus and I don't want to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like before 14, I was always being asked to watch it, but I didn't really learn English from that.
And then did you start learning English like more thoroughly when you went to school later? Like, did you go to a school that taught English?
Yeah, for my generation, like we start learning English from perhaps 9 or 10. We by the time we had like in elementary school, we had some English class that would teach us very simple, basic English, like alphabets and phonics, how to pronounce certain the words. And at middle school, from the age of 13, we also have maybe 2 hours or 3 hours of English class every week.
And then you're in college, do you take classes in Chinese or English or a mix
Well,
or Taiwanese even?
in I majored in foreign languages and literature, which AKA English in
Uh,
Taiwan. So most of the classes were taught in English, but I also study in history department. So the class were taught in Chinese. And in recent years, there are also professors in the history department who also wants to teach in Taiwanese.
Oh. And you said that earlier you only spoke Taiwanese around your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So do you not often use it anymore? Or was that, or do you use it?
Yeah. After I came to Taipei for university, I rarely meet people who can speak uh, Taiwanese with me. Maybe they're not like in my friend zone, so I didn't have the chance to chat with them.
Hmm. Do you feel like you've lost a little bit of your Taiwanese, or do you think you could still um
Oh,
like fluent?
yeah, I'm less fluent now, definitely, but
And
I can still listen and speak. Like my listening is still okay, but speaking is pretty maybe not as good as before.
and your parents don't speak Taiwanese at all?
They do, they just don't speak with their kids.
Okay, I understand now. And then I was just wondering a little bit more about like the environment you grew up in and like your family dynamics. So your you had your two parents and then you had one sister. Did you view this as like the ideal type of family or ever imagine what you want your family to be like when you grew up?
You mean in the future?
Yeah, like did you see your family and think like, oh, I want to have this many kids or any ideas
Hmm.
like that?
Yeah, I used to think that would be ideal, but when I come to this age, like in my late 20s and now in my 30s, I gradually think that probably it won't work out for me because I probably won't want many kids, maybe just one or maybe no kids because of the uh, maybe the society or the economic situation that I'm in. I don't think I can afford, or I don't think I can give my kids that much.
Did you, when you were younger, did you have any challenging experiences that you can remember that you'd like to share or feel comfortable sharing?
Challenging. And my life was kind of smooth,
Mhm.
I think, before 20 or before 22. And I would say the challenges were not very challenging, I think. Uh,
When you were younger, was there anything that you were constantly like worried about or like scared about regarding growing up?
regarding growing up.
Like, were you
Hmm.
ever worried about your future?
Um, yeah, maybe just maybe just worries that I won't get into a good college because my sister is always very good at study, or she's always a very brilliant student, and we always attended the same school. So every teacher knows that, oh, you're the sister of that Liao something.
Hmm.
And so they expected me to be very good as well. And since my mom's a school teacher, they would think that, oh, your mom must have taught you so much for this subject or that subject.
Was there a
So
lot of
that kind of annoys me.
pressure from your teachers?
Yeah, but they were also very good to me because they already knew that my sister is a good student, and some of than even knew my mom personally.
Mm,
So I also got many benefits from that relationship
that is nice.
for my back. So
Did your mom put pressure on you to do good in school?
mm, not very obviously. She just said she has expectations for us for sure, but she also believes that we will try our best to learn more and perform well.
And it seems like when you have that older sister who's doing so good, it probably motivates you to try really hard.
Yeah, kind of. So at the end, me and my sister all went to Taiwan and NTU and said even in the same department.
I'm sorry, that was you and your sister ended up going to the same college and the same department.
Yes, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, you ended up in the same place, so that's probably good.
Mm,
Is she still there studying or did she graduate?
no, she graduated and she's working now.
Do you know what you want to do after you graduate?
Not very sure, but like I took some classes in the history department, and then found it pretty interesting to study and discuss and to do some basic research. So it took me some time um, to find out that it really interests me. So that's why I came back again to study in the graduate school as the history department.
Hmm. When you were younger, did you ever have a dream job or did you think you were going to do what you're doing today?
Yeah, I thought of um, yeah, but I had several ideas for a dream job, but didn't think that would fit me in the end. So, like, interpreter or uh, working in the field of foreign relations, something like that. Before I find it interesting in studying history.
Oh. What made you want to study, say, foreign relations when you were younger? Did you have
Mm,
a travel experience or anything like that?
Mostly from movies or from my sister and her friends, I think, because they talked about doing what's that called? They
Sorry, I think
internship
a little bit.
internship in the foreign ministry.
Sorry, I think it cut out a little bit. You said your sister and her friends talked about what?
Internship in foreign ministry or in working as freelance translators.
Oh, cool. Would you have done that like in a different location or like as a translator in Taiwan?
Yeah, I'm trying to do some translation work now, but still just starting.
Mm. When you were younger, did you ever travel outside of Taiwan?
Yeah, um, but not yeah, like I went to Japan with my family, and then we went to France and Germany with my college friends. And then I did a exchange program in France again.
And this was in your undergraduate for college?
Yeah, undergraduate.
Did you have dreams of traveling when you were younger?
Not that much, but I think it would be nice to travel around the world.
So you mentioned that your parent or your mom was a teacher, and then I think you said your dad was a civil worker or something. Sorry, I didn't quite remember.
Civil servant.
Civil servant. What does that what does that job entail? What did he do?
Oh, mm, hard to describe. Well, he's in a sugar company that was part of the government's property, and he's like a inspector in
Mm,
the company.
cool.
So, and the company that the plant of that company is all. So I like during summer vacation when I was small, I used to uh came to work with him from time to time when he's not super busy, and he would also take me to some parts of the plant to to see what it looks like.
Were you and
And
your
for
dad?
the beverage, pardon, sorry.
Oh, I was just wondering if you were close. It sounds like he took you to work a lot.
Just a few times. But I would say I'm closer to my dad than to my mom.
Oh. What types of things did you do with your parents?
Mm, watch TV and I'll watch ball games. My dad loves tennis. So like every year we would watch the four tournaments together.
What
So
tournaments were these?
tennis tournaments. So
Oh,
it's like French Open, US Open at Wimbledon and
oh,
Australian.
cool. For regarding just like your family again, what did you usually do for meals? Did you all together and or eat with the TV on?
Mm, yes, but we don't actually watch it all the time. It's more like a background
Hmm.
for us.
What sort of things did you talk about around the dinner table?
Mm. School life for sure. And my sister and I were both talkative as a kid. And my dad's always usually the quiet one. And you might notice that he's the only male figure in my family.
He's outnumbered.
Yeah, so and he's naturally a quiet
Mhm.
guy.
What did you usually have for dinner?
Um, rice and maybe two veggies and a meat or fish dish
Hmm.
or tofu, traditional Taiwanese, Chinese, Asian food.
Did who did the cooking in your family?
Mostly my mom. I remember there was a period of time that my dad cooked, but I don't know why. Maybe because my mom was busy and he could all he could do was he could do like dumplings or fried rice or simple noodles.
Hmm. but not the more complex dishes.
Yeah, no fancy stuff.
Did you ever learn to cook or enjoy cooking when you were a kid?
No, but am I enjoy cooking after I grow up. Like
Yeah,
after I moved out from my family, I had a chance to cook for myself. And especially when I went to the exchange program, I had to cook a
I was
lot.
in France, you said.
Mm. Yep.
Did you learn to cook any really good dishes when you were there or anything you want to
Yeah.
share?
Uh, like braised braised uh pork, some some traditional Taiwanese stuff. So some beef stew or brave braised pork.
Oh, braised pork.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mm.
Did you learn anything else, like any skills from your parents?
Any what?
Any skills or super like useful stuff from your parents when you were younger?
Hmm. Not sure.
Did your
Uh,
dad ever teach you like certain
or
skills,
maybe,
how to fix
yeah,
things?
and maybe the sense of direction and how to look at map.
That's a good one for sure.
Mm.
I still don't
Good
know
for
how to read
traveling.
a map very well.
Now Google does a good job.
Yeah, everything's on our phones now.
Mm.
Did you have you said you had a TV when you were younger, and then like did you ever have a music player or any of a radio or any of that sort of thing?
Yeah, my dad uh was willing to give us all that kind of stuff because he used to like to listen to classical music when he was younger. So he himself has a set of speakers, and he gave me and my sister a radio.
Did you play CDs on it?
Yes, and CDs and listen to radio shows. I think like people who are older than me still listen to tape. What is it called, tape?
Oh yeah.
But in my generation, we listen to CDs and then MP3 and then maybe iPod.
When did you get an iPod or an
I
MP3?
didn't get one, but my sister did.
Oh,
Mm.
did she get it as like a present?
I forgot. Maybe. But that was in her maybe when she was 17.
Did you usually get presents like that for holidays or anything?
You mean, did I get a present?
Yeah,
Or
like how did your parents give you gifts to celebrate certain holidays?
hmm, um, maybe for birthday we will have a nice meal and a birthday cake, but maybe no gifts. And every year for the Chinese Lunar New Year, we will get a red envelope with money from our parents, and we will use that to buy the things we want.
Oh, so you get to choose.
Yeah, and if we really, really want something, we will just tell my dad, and he will decide whether to give us or not.
Mhm.
So I think maybe my sister got an iPod from him, and I got a MP3 player
Mm.
later. Yeah.
What other holidays did you celebrate with your family?
Mm, mostly traditional, so but holidays like Chinese New Year, and then what's that? Mid-Autumn Festival, because it's usually a holiday. We'll get a day off, so we might get to travel somewhere. And always spend, we would travel as well in summer uh, break and winter break.
So did you get like a few months off for summer?
Yeah, 2 months and 1 month for winter.
Wow.
Although my my parents will still need to work, but we will make he they will make time for us. Maybe we'll drive to some mountain area and to see maybe maple trees in autumn or uh, cherry blossoms in spring.
Wow. Do you have,
Because
are
my
any of these your favorite memories from your childhood? Or do you have a
mm,
different favorite memory?
yeah, like when I was 9, my when I was younger, my dad would take our family to visit um, her sisters in Taipei every year because my grandma, that's the way that my grandma would see her daughters.
Mm.
So um, it's also a chance for the kids to travel outside our hometown, right? So when I was 9, my dad took us to Taipei to see our aunties, and then we traveled. We went to see a national park,
Mm.
and it was pretty nice there. Very different from central, middle, western Taiwan, and we had a nice time. And another year, we traveled around the island in 1 week, I think. My
Okay.
dad drove the whole all the way.
The whole island you could drive around in 1 week?
I think so.
Wow.
Hmm.
Um, what other like this sounds like a really good memory, but I'm just wondering like what other words would come to mind regarding your childhood? Like what are the main words that you'd use to describe it or feelings
Mm.
or anything?
Oh, you mean to use some words to describe?
Yeah, just when you think back on your childhood, like what are the main words and feelings that you think of?
Mm. Very simple and simple and what? Let me think. Can I just say one word, or I need some other
Yeah, that's
ones?
no, that's perfect. Yeah, that I really like hearing about all the like the national parks and stuff in Taiwan. What was that like? What was there to do in the
Um,
parks?
it's a hilly place, and even though it was like July or August, it was still quite chilly. Maybe not from the perspective of an American, but as an tropical islander, I was surprised to find that it was so cold there and see some buffaloes on the lawns.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing for me as a kid too. And what else? In a island-wide trip, it was also very interesting to see many different geographical, many different sceneries, some gorge and what else? Waterfalls. My dad loves nature, so that was a nice way to explore.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
Just to I've loved hearing everything you said. It's been super interesting, but we can start wrapping up and I just have one more question.
Mhm.
If you could tell like your 10-year-old self one thing, any advice or just anything, what would it be?
Wow. Um, I would, yeah, I would say try to maybe speak, try try to better your Taiwanese because you might want to be a better Taiwanese speaker in the future. Well, I would say like as a kid, I didn't like that environment, but it was it's now pleasure for maybe look at this world in another from another way, and you will find that it's a blessing.
Well,
Yeah.
that sounds like something I would also take to heart at this time in my life.
Mm.
So thank you for that. Um,
You're welcome.
that was really great to talk to you. And I think I've asked